Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So the latest line of MacBook Pros have been released, and they're actually good. And so whenever people are thinking about Apple MacBook Pros, they're normally thinking that obviously they're going to get the best that Apple has to offer when it comes to their laptop line. However, for anybody who uses a Windows laptop, will know that hardware-wise, the MacBook laptops, even up to the Pro lines, are always behind, even though you're paying significantly more. But it looks like this year, Apple is making improvements in the area that makes sense. And what I'm talking about here is the CPUs. Now, typically, if you have used a MacBook Pro before, normally their CPU processors are usually like a generation behind what's available in the Windows platform. And so this year, they've made that change to both the 13-inch and 15-inch MacBook Pros. And so specifically, we're talking about the Intel processors. So with the 13-inch, you could get a Core i5 all the way up to an i7. And then with the 15-inch MacBook Pros, you could get a Core i7 all the way up to an i9. And prices start at around $1,799 for the 13-inch MacBook Pros, and then start at $2,399 for the 15-inch MacBook Pros, and that one goes all the way up to $7,000. And so obviously the whole Apple tax, as you would like to say, it's going to cost you more, period. But for anybody who is in the Apple or Mac ecosystem, I think this is definitely a welcome change. I think much better than adding the gimmicky touch bar, which I still don't see many people use out there in the real world. But having a faster processor from a quad core for the 13-inch and even up to the Core i7, they have a 6-core version, which is on the 15-inch MacBook Pros. I think this will help a lot, because a lot of people do use a MacBook Pro for content creation, video editing. I think that's what the majority of people use it for. They are creatives. If it's not video production, it's photo, cinematography, those type of things, and all of those require a lot of processing power. Now, when it comes to the actual hard drive in there, they're all SSDs, and in terms of the amount of RAM, the 15-inch can go up to 32 gigs of RAM. So that's going to be quite sufficient for most people, even if you are doing 4K content. And so that is important, and I think that is definitely something that might want to make Windows manufacturers take notice. And the reason why I say that is, in my general opinion, I think Apple is starting to make a shift. And that shift is, normally they're always going to give you less for your money. They're always going to remove features, and then you're going to have to buy additional Apple products or accessories to make it even work as it should. But now, slowly but surely, it looks like Apple is listening, and they're actually adding features that make sense or improving them. And honestly, I don't think they have a choice, because the competition is getting much higher, specifically in the whole smartphone space. And then in the whole laptop space, they do have a core niche of people who use it, but there's a lot more people who use Apple Mac products, specifically their laptops now, than it used to be like 10 years ago. So that is a huge opportunity for Apple to take advantage of, especially since their brand is so powerful. And so I think this is a welcome change. Now, for anybody else who is using a Windows laptop, they might not see this as anything significant. But for anybody who is in the Apple ecosystem, this is an important and welcome change. And when you're spending that much money, you definitely want as much performance as you can get. And so anything that Apple gives, then I guess that's good for all the people out there who uses it. Now, I myself have also used an Apple laptop. I've used an iMac, and so I could definitely see the performance issues whenever I'm using it. Even though the operating system itself is pretty efficient, the hardware has always been lackluster. And so with the MacBook Pros getting this sorely needed upgrade, even for people who aren't necessarily Apple Mac people, maybe this might give an option to consider. Okay, so if they could steal away some of the Windows people who are seriously into performance, specifically for content creators, video editing, and so forth, then that's definitely a good thing for Apple. And so those are my thoughts on the new Apple MacBook Pro refresh. If you had any thoughts on this, whether you are an Apple user or a Windows user, or maybe you're neither and you just use Linux, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Go Content Creators group, where you'll get access to 30 videos plus additional content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Go Content Creators group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.